It averages between £6,000 and £7,000 turnover per month. We got to roughly 25 or so properties under management at a point last year.
I have the time of my life and I go out shopping for an entire day while I drag Niall around.
I had just got married, just convinced my wife that it was a good idea for me to quit my job. Both of us did this full time, and then also we got pregnant with our first quite early on too.
So, we're back on the road again, and this time we're in Birmingham, visiting the power couple that is Sophie and Niall, who scaled their Airbnb business to over 7 figures.
So we're here with Niall now. It's great to finally meet you.
Good to meet you.
There we go. So if you can tell us a bit about the property itself, where we are, what's around here.
Welcome to Penthouse Noir. This is our flagship property here in Birmingham. This is a rent-to-rent that is part of our own portfolio. We don't manage it on behalf of anyone. And you are right above the main high street through Birmingham town centre. You can see Grand Central right there. It's the main business and banking district, that end of the road. And the Christmas market, German market, runs all the way underneath us. So we've got this beautiful wraparound balcony here. You've got a 360 view around all of the city's main sites.
So what made you choose a penthouse right in the centre of Birmingham?
It just fell in our lap. Like, we got a really good deal. Shout out to High Living, who actually sourced this one for us.
Okay.
We got in a bidding war with another person that wanted to buy it, but we just saw the potential, and this property's really delivered for us. We've had it for about 2 years now. It averages between £6,000 and £7,000 turnover per month.
Over time, Birmingham has become more and more saturated, so the fact that Niall was able to achieve these numbers is absolutely incredible. They're able to hit this revenue every month due to the way that they stage the properties and the way that they list it on online travel agents like Airbnb and Booking.com.
Average occupancy is over 90%, somewhere between 93 and 96% normally. And yeah, it's just been a real find for us and a real gem.
That's fantastic. As you can see as well, the balcony is very nice. But how about we go take a look inside and see?
Come this way.
So what was it that got you started within the property?
In all honesty, the reason I think most people get into property is to learn how to invest and kind of leave their 9 to 5 behind. It was a long journey for me that really picked up steam probably 2 years ago. I owned a couple of different properties, tried a few different strategies, stumbled on BRRs and then serviced accommodation. And between me and my business partner and wife, we really found our niche in creating these high-end serviced accommodation stays that were achieving more than average nightly rate, more than average occupancy. Grew our own portfolio, realised there was only so quickly we could develop that, moved on to a rent-to-rent portfolio, as you stood in this one now, and eventually our door kind of got banged down by people asking if we could manage their properties. We got to roughly 25 or so properties under management at a point last year, but then we realised we had to make some big business changes. We were really busy fools, and in that time we got on the right kind of help, strategised better as a business, took a big step back. Then we were able to offer more services once we got organised, and now we've got our own cleaning team, services team, customer service department, and we're able to offer a much more all-encompassed property management service to our client that's completely under our control, and we're able to quality control so much better because of that.
Having a management company in place can make life so much easier when it comes to investing in Airbnb properties. Take our one for example. Our one's in Liverpool, which is 3.5 hours away from where we live. Having a management company in place means we can sit back, allow them to deal with everything, and we still benefit from the monthly profit.
So you've obviously, that's a lot of progress within the business. What's the story about, say, you yourself before you actually got involved in business? Did you work in property at all? You had any experience previous to that, or what was your job before?
No, none whatsoever. I started off in kind of my professional life. I've been in various types of sales roles or account management. And I always wanted a little bit more outside of it, so I bought my first property. It was a bit of a fixer-upper, accidentally made some decent money on it, thought this was going to be really easy, moved into BRR, had some real fortunate luck there as well. We got into the service accommodation game a little bit before everyone else caught on, and we were able to make a lot of our learning mistakes around that time when the stakes weren't so high and the competition wasn't so fierce. So I feel like we were kind of always just that one step a little bit ahead of other people that were doing what we were doing in the same area, and our experience has always allowed us to kind of move quicker than them, offer better returns to our investors, higher nightly rate, higher occupancy.
Okay, there have been tons of strategies out there. As you said, you've done BRRs, buy to let. What was it about rent to rent that was cool, that's the one I'm going to go into? That's the one for me.
To be honest with you, by the time we got to rent, it's because we had put all of our capital into other bigger projects So that's not where we started, but we saw that as the fast cash flowing option.
Yeah.
I had just got married, just convinced my wife that it was a good idea for me to quit my job. Both of us did this full time, and then also we got pregnant with our first quite early on too. So the heat was on. I had to figure out a way to get some money into our household pretty quick. So we went straight into the rent to rents. This was our second rent to rent.
Yeah.
And yeah, just never looked back from there. Like once we were able to live comfortably, we were able to start thinking about developing the business in a bigger way.
It's quite a massive risk though, because you just had a kid. Obviously, you just got married as well, and you're taking on a massive project whilst leaving your jobs. It was like quite a big risk to take from the get-go.
Yeah, I'd say yes to that. And nothing like a fire under you, like knowing that you've got a baby coming in 9 months and you've got to make something work. So yeah, we put it all on the line, me and my wife between us, and losing wasn't an option. So yeah, we just had to make it work. Finding people that want to work with us has never been a problem. Getting the properties to perform has never been a problem to us. So getting money through the door as a business has not been our challenge. Our challenge has been how to systemize this and make it work in such a way that we weren't busy fools and running out at all times of the night to sort out sofa legs that are broken off beds, deal with parties. So we did a lot of learning over the space of 2024. On top of that too, we made the decision that it was a massive expense having our cleans and maintenance subbed out. So we decided to bring that in-house. We underestimated what a challenge that would be. We're very happy with where that side of the business is now, but really the rent to rent was a side hustle to our BRRs and development projects. And then the cleaning company became a side hustle to our side hustle, and we had to get it all working and running well so that the other areas of the business further up the chain could start performing for us.
So here I absolutely love what Niall was saying. He took the risk, it paid off massively, and once he scaled, he realised he had to systemize the business. A lot of people sit on the sidelines procrastinating and waiting for the perfect opportunity, and before you know it, it's been 10 years and they've made no moves in the game.
Okay, and with rent to rent as a whole model, obviously you can have it self-managed, you can have properties managed. How hands-off is the whole experience for you? Because I know some people say it's really hands-off, others are like, whoa, this is intense, I'm having call-outs all the time, all this type of stuff. Now, I know you have systems in place, but how hands-off have you been able to make it? And then what are the systems you've implemented along the way to obviously get to that hands-off stage, if that makes sense?
So there is a trade-off in this business. You could make it almost fully automated, but your guests will just think it's a machine at the other end. You're never going to give guests a 5-star experience or a 10 out of 10 experience if they just think their questions have been answered by AI and your phone line's shut off at 6 p.m. So there is a degree of, you've got to make your life easier by automating certain things. So we have fantastic channel managers that do a level of automated messaging. We've got digital welcome guides that answer an awful lot of the guest questions before they arrive. We've got a fantastic cleaning software that automatically books the cleans and gives cleaning checklists. So all of that stuff, we don't have to be on every minute of the day. What I would say is this is not property investment from our perspective. This is the hospitality business. So we want guests to have a 10 out of 10 experience. We want them to think if there's an issue that there is someone at the other end of the phone that gives a shit about the properties and about their experience. So we do now have a team of staff that is there taking phone calls and answering messages all day long. If there's a serious issue, it gets escalated to me and I still want to step in and deliver personally. We have created an environment where it doesn't need me in every minute of it all day long in order for the business to run right. But also we aren't blind to the fact that we want to add that personal touch because we think that's what gives a guest a 10 out of 10 experience too.
Okay, and you said channel managers. For someone that wouldn't know, what is a channel manager?
So a channel manager is a joined up calendar that will allow you to have your listing on, say, booking.com, Airbnb, verbohotels.com, all these different online travel agents that you don't run the risk of having double bookings. There's just one place where all the messaging and all the calendars go out from. So we can manage that. And from there, that's how we offer a lot of our automations. That plugs into our cleaning software. So that will send out welcome text messages, key text messages, our guest forms, our welcome packs, and then also that plugs into booking the cleans in for the properties as well.
So the cleaners basically have access to the calendar. So as soon as one guest comes in, obviously they have their stay. As soon as they leave, cleaners can jump in straight to work and then get ready for the next set of guests because they'll say have track of it themselves.
That's more or less right. So all of our cleaners have access to our app. The app is, the cleans are assigned by our team leader, who will see who's working that day, see what the workload's like, and try and make sure that they're allocated so that we're able to address them all in order as they should be. But in terms of then, it has a cleaning checklist so they can see what needs doing, the type of clean we need. So is it a deep clean? Is it a maintenance inspection? Is it a departure clean? That kind of stuff. So they come equipped with knowing what they need to bring with them in terms of linens, materials, knowing what to expect from the guests, if the guest's been in a week, a day, so what kind of, how deep a clean it's going to need, and then all the information that they're going to want in order to get that job done.
Okay, and what's the biggest lesson you may have learned from obviously starting it to maybe running it yourself or having it managed, then obviously scaling to having the right systems in place, and obviously, you know what I mean, like the steps you've had and the stuff you've learned along the way, which someone knew you could learn, obviously before they systemize it up until that stage?
I would honestly say, if you're getting into this as a first timer and you're looking to invest, the mistake I've seen so many people make, and let me make this mistake for you, is thinking that it was just going to be all numbers on a spreadsheet and that you were going to be able to manage it while you're self-manage it while you're at work or something like that. The guest expectation now, this has become such a competitive market. Guest expectation is up here, so you need to deliver on that. My advice would be do as much education as you can on the managing side of things, on the hospitality side of things, or get a management company to help get you off the ground that you can learn from and work with, before you spend your life savings on what you think is going to be an investment and you're underwater pretty quick because you've got a load of 1-star reviews on the board and no one wants to stay with you because you made a fundamental mistake that a bit of education would have prevented you from making.
So this is Sophie, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
She's the brains and the powerhouse of the business. So you can tell us a bit about yourself and how you got involved and obviously what your role is within the business.
Yeah. Hi guys. So I basically married into the business, but then behind every great man. So my role kind of started in the staging, taking quite a soft and slow approach, thinking about the location and all of those things, the name of the property to kind of inspire. But then it's grew over time. So I now do the interior design for all of our properties, and depending on where they're at, whether it's a shell of a property or whether there's already kind of stuff in there that I can use.
With,
Okay. So I do that. I've also recently taken over kind of inside the business a bit of the HR and just kind of working with the other members of staff. And also, I mean, we run the business, so you kind of manage the strategies and the policies and the procedures and trying to align, like Niall, my husband, mentioned about 2025 trying to kind of strategize and think about how we can refine the business and really kind of get it working well.
Okay, so you talked about staging. Now, obviously, when people sell deals or when someone's taking one on, obviously in a package you'd have obviously the staging. Now, a lot of people ask, what is staging? So what does the staging process entail? And what's included within it? Yeah,
so I mean, usually it starts, so let's say someone's come to us with interest on something that we're working on, and they send over some pictures or a video walkthrough of the property. That's the first kind of initial time that I will see the property.
Okay.
I get a bit of a feel for it. I can see like the spaces, like the sizes of the rooms, kind of characteristics that I might want to pull on. But really, you've got to go to the property and do a visit. So that'd be the next stage.
Okay.
Going to the property, doing a visit. Then I would look at putting together a mood board. So thinking about what that theme, the colour palette, what those accents would be. I mentioned earlier about like wood or what colour metal, whether it's going to be furs, whether it's going to be silks, I don't know, velvets.
So do you choose the theme, or do you get the client to choose the theme? Like, do they let you basically pick what you want and run with it?
Yeah, I mean it's a bit of a grey area really, but we like to have autonomy over the properties. But if we're staging it, we're staging it. I think sometimes like too many cooks and all of that, it tends to struggle with the blend if we have like lots of voices in on it. Also, I've found you don't really get a cohesive look then if you've got lots of things going on. So yeah, I tend to take quite I take the full involvement of it, come up with the theme, and then you can see that then it's clear as day on the mood board that we send. That gets sent to clients, investors, and then they come back to us with, I guess, their feedback. So far, touch wood, nothing's ever really kind of been contested on those mood boards. And yeah, it kind of follows just our brand and style. And then we put a shopping list together, send that over and show them kind of where, like, a plan and a budget for how we can achieve
so you've got
it.
the idea, then the vision, you've obviously viewed the property, made the mood board, obviously advertised them, they're happy with it. Then the shopping list comes, obviously you'd be like, we're thinking we'll get this, and this. They'll be like, cool, that's great. Then what happens? You say, go to the property and just basically decorate.
I have the time of my life and I go out shopping for an entire day while I drag Niall around, and it's took maybe, I would say, the 4 attempts where we don't have an argument about something because he hates it. But it's a successful day. We go around to different places, so again you kind of learn as you go along. There's places where there's one like place like wholesale, which I'm sure a lot of people know, but I'm not going to say, but we try and avoid that particular place because it tends to be that when you go into a property it's all from that one place, and it's quite
Kia by any chance?
it's quite recognisable, although I do like going there because their displays have really upped their game with like putting staging particular areas, and it gives me inspiration. I like seeing how they kind of hang their lights. They've kind of hung suspended like a floral piece and had the lights coming through. So there's things that I catch and I'm like, oh, I'll take that away. But also there's some really good value stuff there that you wouldn't walk in and go, that's IKEA. But there are some things that you would.
You would understand it.
So it is still a good place to visit, and I'm not saying I haven't got stuff from there because I have, but it's about how you bring those together then. So we'll have places like that, places like Matalan Home. These all change on budget, and I tend to now, I've found a way of bringing them together so it doesn't all look like it's from one place. And also quality differs depending on what you're looking for, and I've learned the hard way on some of those things.
So would you say you have maybe like obviously I know you said you get stuff from obviously different places, but say someone that's looking to obviously kit out a property themselves, different budget range and different, like, what would you say is a high range store to go to, a middle range and a low range? So you're working with
Next Home, the quality of their soft furnishings is like, really,
so that's the top end.
That's good stuff. And then your ornaments from there as well, that you're looking at something like anywhere between, for a good one, like £15 to £30, but that could be for like a little cool moustache that's wooden, but they will charge for it. And you've got to think as well about wear and tear and what you're going to be using it for, where you're going to be putting it. It's not as simple as just grabbing it and just putting it in. You need to think about how much it's going to be used. And so you can think about budget then, because if they're not really going to be handling it that much, you can go a little bit less on the price, because it's not going to break. Exactly. Next Home, the range, it's a little bit hit and miss with the range, but there's some things that have really good quality. Other things, maybe not, like the vases are great. A glass vase is a glass vase, but they do really good, like vibrant ornaments and things like that. So places like that. B&M, haven't really gone there for a while. Home Bargains, haven't gone there for a while. So you just start to
maybe like the lower range ones, if you want to get ornaments.
If you want to start something, go there. Like B&M for their little knickknacks and stuff. They've got great kind of they've got great like pampas grass ornaments and things like that you can put on shelves. You can make a really nice display from really little things. So you're probably looking at, I don't know, you could do something really nice and stands out for about 50 quid and get like lots of little things. It's just kind of knowing the shops, knowing what you're looking for, having the vision before you go there, and then hitting it. That's what I do. I don't tend to go and pick something up and then a week later I'll pick something else. We hit it one day, I know exactly what it is that I'm looking for. Otherwise, if you do it, you'll start to lose that consistency with the look. So you just go and get everything that you can and keep it all kind of cohesive throughout the day.
Okay, and with this property itself, what was the name of it again, sorry?
Penthouse Noir.
Penthouse Noir. Okay, what was the inspiration behind this one?
I think because, again, we were looking at it being a penthouse, and thinking about the guests and I guess kind of like who it would attract, who we would like to attract. You live and you learn by those things as well about guests and how they handle and look after your property. And it is something that, from a management company perspective, we obviously are mindful of. And price point, so the more you can put in, like Niall said, the more you put in, the more you're going to get out. There's always going to be a line where, you know, you think you can achieve something and you've got to be realistic, maybe it doesn't. But yeah, I wanted to go with like a modern approach, like sleek, chic. So this kind of like black, gold, that just felt right for the space, really.
I guess it gives that luxury vibe as well, because black
Exactly.
and gold go well together, and it gives that luxury.
Yeah.
And then the name of it, is that it's French, isn't it?
Yeah, noir, so meaning black. So
yeah.
our properties, again, the names of our properties, they always lean towards something that's, well, it leans towards the colour, but it can change. You know, we have like Autumn Loft, Damson Drive. We have lots of different property names, but they all link to some form of
something within the property.
Colour, theme,
Okay.
yeah.
So you managed to systemize everything, but what numbers would you actually be achieving on a property like this?
So this property does between £6,000 and £7,000 per month, usually erring towards the 7,000 in the peak seasons, and then I'd be disappointed in your Januaries, Februaries, Novembers if it didn't get tipped the £6,000 mark per month. Average nightly rate would be always north of 200, somewhere closer to 300 in peak season.
So you said you're achieving £200 to £300 a night. For a two-bed, that does seem quite a lot. How is it you're achieving that and maximising the profits?
The location of the property does speak for itself a lot, so there is that. But what I would say is the extra effort that we put into the staging and the setup and the marketing of the property gives the guests the impression before they even arrive that they're going to get a high-end experience. Now that's the kind of guests we're trying to attract here. And if you spend that little bit extra and give the staging a little bit extra thought, which is my wife Sophie's area of the business, once it goes online and people have a scroll through the photos, they are prepared to pay that premium for a special experience. We get a lot of people that come here for their engagements. We've had wedding parties, people on quite high-end business trips, people on football trials. Those are the kind of guests that come and stay here. And it's not just because it's got the balcony, it's because of what the inside looks like as well.
So unfortunately, while filming, the guests checked in early, which meant we got kicked out of the property. Now listen, I know you're emotional and I know you're wondering what's going on next. All you got to do is you got to subscribe, click the bell button, so when we release the part 2, you don't miss out. And remember, share this video with your nan, your cousin, your auntie, sisters, dogs, cousins, nans, sisters, brothers, uncle, and the rest of your community, so they don't miss out either. And we'll catch you in the next one.